This time Yerushalmi Shekalim in the article also addition with Daf Nun Vav Alf, third line down, two fine. And the Vilna Yerushalmi on Lamed Amud Beis. On the Bab Yerushalmi we're on Chaf Amud Beis. It's 18 lines on the bottom. At the beginning of the line, you'll see between the Korban Eidah and the Gemara, there's the word Lirvucha, which is the change gissa for Lirvuva. On that line, it says Tufine in the Gemara. So, I mentioned yesterday, the machlokes is coming up. Whether you fry the pancakes going to go first and then bake them, or you bake them and then fry them. The simple pshat in pasuk is you would fry them first, because it says Amach Vas Hashem Te'asem Murbekas Tvieno Tufine Minchas Pitim. First it says Murbekas, and then afterwards it says Tufine. But okay, we'll see. So the Gemara says Tufine. Rabbi Yasser Mechia said Metagim Chagam Oifos. You fry it first and then bake it. And Rabbi Mechia said Oifos Chagam Metagim. Bake it first and then fry it. Now the Gra changes the girsa here, but I'm not even sure the Takna Charatin changes the girsa like the Gra, so I don't think we have to change girsa necessarily. So we're going to go to Korban Eidah. So the Tufine to Fena no. He certainly smooths out the girsa, but we'll try without it. Tufine to Fena no. So the Korban Eidah explains to Fena no b'shas avichiyasa b'tanur. At the time it's baked in the oven, tein no, which is partially cooked. So Korban Pesach don't eat it partially cooked. It should be partially cooked, not completely. So he's saying it should be fried first. This everybody agrees. Every need both. But he holds it should be fried and then baked. So that's he dashes tufine as a nutri cone that the tefena no, and it should be first fried a little, cook a little bit, and then baked afterwards. So even he doesn't seem to be looking at the order of the words in the psukim so much as dashing the word tufine in and of itself. Rabbi Omer tefena no'eh. He says it should be baked nicely. And although it's not explained, he doesn't explain explicitly what he means by that. But they have the Gemara is later on going to say that it should be baked. I'm not sure the Gemara is going to say it. No, the Chazak Chadin says to offend an or b'shas afiyos b'tanur tehei no'eh. Should be pretty nice. If you fry it first, it gets black from the oil and from the pan. So therefore, you have to again. He's not showing the nutricon to offend a no instead of no, and you bake it and then you fry it. Okay, Rabbi Dosamer to offend riba. So we're gonna go. We'll see the tackling the in here. Similar riba afios harbe ofos matagna of ofa. You bake it, you fry it, and then you bake it again. Fashim nachas isa tavayu. He holds it both. Isle no yishmachi ofa charatigun. He holds no, therefore you have to bake it after frying. He say no. Shmachi ofa tchila. So both. And Rashi Menachos he says brings another lashon, but in any event, this is riba. Means that since it says tufine, the Gemara says here, the Gear says tufne, but I think is that also in the Vilna? No, it is teafena. Yes, teafena in the Vilna. So. And is that also the Grasger says tufine? So tufne seems to be wrong. It's either to tufine, like the Gras says, which is plural, so two afios, or like the Vilna says again. What do you say? Teafena, but that's not in this pasuk. Terfeno. So I assume that the proper girsa should be like the gra tufine. And now the more explains again, the gra makes it smoother by having this as one seamless progression. But even manamar tufine no see again it's probably be instead of tufena it should be to fena or whatever. To vanena commandamar over chargam betagna. First you bake it and you fry it afterwards. Mandamar tufnena commandamar metagna b'charkach oifa, like we said before, that you fry it and then you bake it because it has to be partially cooked at the time you bake it. And of course we had the other third opinion, tufnei riba, which is bake, fry, bake. Okay. Now the Gemara discussed, the Mishnah had said that there's a scenario which the Serious Sefer, the Serious Sefer, the Kohen Gadol, that you we had tonight based in. Shimon said tonight based in Kohen Gadol Shemesh Shetem Minachas Kreba Mishal Tzibur. Minachas comes to Tzibur. You remember Mishal Yoshim. Ushlema is a Kreba and it was came Mishalim. That was a quote from the Mishnah. So now. Lo Sod Vashames. It's not just talking about where the Kohen Gadol became mace. That the second Kohen Gadol takes his place, has to bring a full Asir Sefer and be beso. So El Afil Nitma, even if he became Tameh and therefore he can't serve as Kohen Gadol temporarily, and Vafilu Nidche Mimum, he was pushed up because he was. If he got a mum, he can't serve. So the first we say it's a question. Is lo savar shemes? Elafil nitma, elafil nidcha mimum. And then Tana Rabbi Yehuda ben Bazi the Bardile, Rabbi Yehuda ben Bazi a Bardile said, I feel nidcha mimum, even if it's pushed off from a mum. Yeah, same principle. So Takan Chaytin says, but not Tame. Let's see Takan Chaytin inside. I feel need my v'chulei bayahi. The command lav dafka mace. And I feel need my nami sile dina hachi. Is it true also if he or I should read the Katan before that as well because it makes it much easier. Lo sodav shemeis amesisim nachas shom kai diktai koin shvi mechza shachas umeis umina koin acher tachtav lo b'chulei chatzil shemishlam fresh lav dafka mace. Anytime there's minu acher tachtav. Okay, that's the halacha. Now the question is. What kind of minu tachtov is it? Maybe first going to resign. I understand, but what about nitma? What about nidcha mimum? So the Gemara is on that. Let's see next kakin by the Gemara to lav dafka mace. If you need manami sedin hachish akoin sheni sheitz manat tachtov, who was a stopgap measure. Levi the chatzi yisrael shishot rishon. He can't be in the second half. He saw from the original Kohen Gadol's carbon. Nidcha mimum dafka. Or maybe it's only if it's nidcha mimum karmata. That's also lacha. Avol nitma came with the heart of chazi, since he can come back again. Lo dami the mace. It's not like a mace. So again, I think that a simple scenario would be first going to go resign. He retired, let's say. But in any event. They only let him retire at the end of the day, so so therefore the question is, came Tamir about Mum in the middle of the day. Okay, the Reb Chaim learns it just as straight, not as a question, like I originally read it. He says it's a statement saying, "May call it Lo stav shemes afil nidma afil nidcha mimum. Period. Tan Rabbi Yehuda ben Bazi a price is by the way afil nidcha mimum. It was just you push up from mum, and the same thing by Tomei. So much straight up without not like talking chaytin. That's a question by both and a resolution only by one and not by the other. Okay. The I think according to the talking chaytin, so. If a coin becomes tamei, it's not a psul be'etzim, so therefore, even when you point another coin goes as a stopgap measure, it's really just temporary. If it gets a mum, so then that's a psul be'etzem. So therefore, it's much more likely that in that case we would say that in fact we say here from the chayimum that you can't bring the actual kohen gadol the kohen gadol has the mums asir safe in the afternoon. You have to bring from the new kohen who's serving it instead. Even if you intend eventually to bring back the original kohen gadol, doesn't make a difference. Okay, the Gemara says, that was Rabbi Yehuda's sheet in the Mishnah. I know if the Kohen Gadol died and no other Kohen has been appointed, that you bring from his Yerushalmi, Tamler mibanav yaseh. So that's a full pasuk is Kohen Mashiach Tatam mibanav yaseh osa. So it's telling you every Kohen Gadol has to bring his own Asir Seifa. But we're dashing mibanav yaseh, the juxtaposition of the word mibanav yaseh in the pasuk that it comes from the Yerushalmi, as long as another Kohen Gadol has not been appointed. So in that case, when we bring from the Yerushalmi, do we bring half in the morning, half in the evening? Tamulama osa. Because again, with that pasuk, we're really taking out of a simple meaning completely, because Yaseh seems to say the next Kohen Gadol has to do the same type of korban. We're saying mibanav Yaseh osa when it's made mibanav Yaseh when it's made from his children osa. He's got to make the totality, and not like the not a half in the morning, afternoon, but Asir Seif in the morning, Asir Seif in the afternoon. Now, what I actually said just now is a question where it's going to ask on Omid Beis is when it says Shlema Osa, does it mean a full Yisrael in the morning, full Yisrael in the afternoon, or just one Yisrael in the morning and nothing in the afternoon? We're going to come to that. Okay, so all this is Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Shimon Omer, ain't about Mishal Tzibur. Mishal Tzibur only comes from the Tzibur. It doesn't come from the individual. Shemar Chok Olam. Now I'm going to go to the Girsa of the Gra here. Here instead of Misha Brio Shalo, his Girsa is Mishal Olam. Chok Olam means from the Olam, as we say. Okay, let's see. Technically, change the gears here. Not sure. The Reb Chaim does not. Does change the gears, and of course, since he changed the gears, I think that. Let's see what it actually says in the Vilna. Yeah, in the Vilna it takes out the words Misha Bria Shalo, but it doesn't put in the word Chok Olam. Oh, it does. Yeah. The Shema ain't a Baal Mishal Tzibur Shema Chok Olam. Oh no, he doesn't have Mishal Olam, right? He just says Chok Olam without the words Mishal Olam. That the Gra puts in Mishal Olam. So Chaim does not put in the. He goes to the Vilna that takes out the words, Misha Bir Shalo, but it doesn't put in Misha Olam. Okay, works with that. Works with, as long as you take out those words, even if you don't put in the words in Misha Olam as well. So this is in that pasuk. Chok Olam, that Misha Olam. Lashem Kol is the next pasuk. Lashem Kolil Toktor, and Kolil Toktor we learn Kolil Laktara. Again, when it's coming Ibanav. It's coming. Well, the way Rabbi Shimon learns it, he's not learning Yaseh. Right? Like we use then Yaseh so Chok Olam LaHashem, meaning that when there is no Kohen Gadol, it comes Chok Olam LaHashem, comes Yishol Olam LaHashem, and then Kolil Toktor. Everybody agrees Kolil Toktor means whether it's Mibanav Yaseh, whether it's Chok Olam. It comes as it comes Khalil Toktar, meaning as a shlema, right? Like the Moshe says Khalil Toktar Klamar Haktor Sakshi Shlema, right? Everybody agrees that it comes as one as a complete Asiris, not Mechza and Mechza. Rabbi Memo asked, Mechava Shita say Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Shimon seems to contradict himself. Taman, who Omer Mishal Yorshin. Over there, he says Mishal Yorshin. So the Pnei Moshe explains. Tamish Yorshin Klomar Masnizin the Klomar Zecha Me Takona Shikinu based in. That's the is based in our Mishnah. Sheitei Michos Kreva Shel Tzibor. Amandir the Raisa Mishal Yorshin is a Kreva. So it sounds quite clear that Mida Raisa it's Mibon Aviase. Right, that's from the Yorshim. It's a basin made takana that it should be brought from the from the tzibur. So Tamar Sheyoshin Mishal tzibur, but here in the Bryce he's saying from the word chokolam that midaraisa comes from the tzibur. So how do we reconcile this apparent contradiction in this Rabbi Shimon? I'm Rabbi Chia Baba. So now you're not asking good. He's saying is pretty much it says we need a good answer for this. It's a good question. So Asa B'Yagab B'Acha Ra'avo Shem B'Yagab said Dvar Torah Hu Shetei Ba Min HaTzibur. Say the Raisa it should come from the Tzibur. So if that's the case, what does it mean? It's a Tanai basin, right? However, this Tanai basin is as follows. I would say that they should collect fresh, not take from Jumas Lishka. Let's see the Tagan Chadatin. It's definitely read the Tzibur the Raisa Mikor the Chokolam. I used to mention only Chab in Chumas Alishka. Shouldn't they have Chumas Alishka? Elik was called Yachid B'Yachid. Collect from every individual. Make a collection from the Olam. These two based, and therefore based on tonight, let's read inside first and read the Chakli. He kinu shetei bam in Chumas Alishka. Says the Kotan Chadavi. He's kinu basically bam in Chumas Alishka. The said basin made this takana to come to Chumas to make sure we don't have to do any collections. Okay, says name the Tari Chadatin has a editorial comment here about some Talmud Torah who changed things around. He's referencing if you're looking in the Bavli Yerushalmi, it says it adds on a couple of lines. It says there, it says, Kevin Chazid Kamit Chakalishka. As reading, once he saw that the Lishka was being pushed, I guess by Shem with a lot of Kohanim Gedolim, so there was a heavy run on the budget. So they decided, we'll be going from the Yorshim. Came the Chazei Pashabah and said the Yorshim were being negligent. They made it come again from Chumas Alishka. So that whole discussion and that the Takin Chadatin says the Talmud Toyin is Tabich, the Tutsa Bavli Shami, Tutsa Dachad Yerushalmi. He put in this girsa from based on the Bavli in the Yerushalmi lo noyer lo boyer lo tzoyer. It's not clear and not and so synonyms. The city of Yerushalmi says love elachara takana, one takana. Bavli shtayin shtei takonos. The Bavli says there were two takonos, but that is the Bavli Shita, not the Yerushalmi Shita. And the Bavli Yerushalmi took the Bavli Imanachas and put it in here, but the true gears is like the Yerushalmi, which the article has that just one takana. That instead of collecting from scratch, they would go to the they went straight to Lishka. Now we have a series of questions about this case where being the Kohen died, or whatever happened to him in the morning, and then we have the other one in the afternoon. So Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Yochanan boy, ma, the girl puts in the word shlema here. It's the second time. Ma shlema. When it says shlema, what does it mean? Shlema shachar shlema ben arbayim. We mentioned this question before. Does it mean double? Shlema in the morning, shlema in the afternoon, or shlema shachar ziptei ben arbayim? Or is it shlema in the morning and nothing in the afternoon? Next more says Kateb Shitole, and once you resolve that, ask the following question. The Shloshis Lugin Mayin. The halacha is the nesachim of the Kohen Gadol's Sirius Eifa was to be lugin of oil, right? So do we also bring double that or not? Mine Shloshis Lugin b'shachar, Shloshis Lugin ben arbaim, which would be double because we double our Sirius Eifa. Oh, lugin mechse b'shachar, lugin mechse ben arbaim, or is what the Kohen Gadol himself would bring. What a lug and a half in the morning and a lug and a half in the afternoon. And Rabbi Chizkiah said, also I have the following question. Now the Gemara is a very different girsa here, a very, very different discussion, but we'll go to Korban Eda, even though the Rebbe Chaim changes the girsa here. I'm going to go to Korban Eda, and because I looked in the Shikli Yosef, goes with this girsa. So this following. Rabbi Chizkiah, questions like this, Shnei Kamatzim Mayim. Now, the Korban Eda says, the Sfila Chizkiah Abba Yosef ben Dustoy. He also Yosef ben Dustoy Shtover Batchelos holds him Menachos. B'choyom Yakoin Gadol maybe Shnei Kamotzim Levoina. He brought 2 Kamotzim Levoina. Umakrib Echad Mehem b'Shachris, v'Echad Mehem ben Arbaim. One in the morning, one in the afternoon. V'Am Rabbi Yochanan Hasam Milchzak Abba Yossi. And Milchzak Abba Yossi. V'Kom Yiboy Lek Shemevio Shleimo b'Shachris u'Shleim ben Arbaim. Now being this double, right? Shleim morning, Shleim afternoon. It may be called by Shnei Kmotzim will do Mekometz Echad Sagi. Do you bring each time 2 Kmotzim, or is one kometz enough? In other words, 1 kometz in the morning, 1 kometz at night. So according to Rabbi Yossi B'Lustoy, he holds that there are 2 Kmotzim, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. But in the normal Kohen Gadol, what about when you switch Kohen Gadol in the middle, right? Do we say 2 Kmotzim in the morning, 2 Kmotzim in the afternoon? Right, so that Rabbi Yosef resolved this question. He says, "Klum lamdu l'koymetz." Well, from where do we learn the koymetz? The lo minchas chayte is not minchas chayte. Now the Gra is a girsa lechem aponim, and why as a girsa? Perhaps we'll come to in a minute. But he says, "Klum lamdu l'koymetz," says Korban Eda. Klomar the levoina boy koymetz. The reason why the Gra changes the girsa is, as Takan Chatin says, Takan Chatin later is on Nun Zayin Ma'alf in the art school. So Gabi Chavit no ksib kometz klal. It doesn't say by Chavit in kometz at all. But Kol Milechem Apanim lamdu. They must learn Milechem Apanim l'kometz the Chavitin. They must learn Milechem Apanim. Only say show the Chokolam Chokolam Tervag. See, either says Chokolam by both, or that there's the earlier we had a Lacha Perek Vav Lacha Dal. The Lemon Shu the Kohen Lechem Boim Chol Menachos. You learn from Lechem Boim to all Menachos. But in any event, that's why we have a different gears to Lechem Aponim, because there's no Levain at all that we know of by Asir Seifa, except we learn from something else. So we have to learn from Lechem Aponim. So that's the Gross gears to Lechem Aponim. But again, the gears to Lechem Aponim is Minchas Chayte, and we already had that drasha. Even though Minchas Chayte is no Levain, but we learned the shear of Kometz from Minchas Chayte, because the Kometz is Misaltam Misham Da'ad. We see a Kometz is that's what you bring, and Levona is mentioned that possible, also juxtaposed to that Kometz. So Masi Kometz Levona is the same status of the Kometz. I'm sorry, it's not juxtaposed. Since where the Levona is mentioned, it's juxtaposed to the right, but Levona, which comes from Mincha, it says Komatishtam Lokum So Misaltam Misham Da'ad Al Kol Levona. Right, so therefore we learned that just like the kometz of solus, because kometz of solus of shemen is a kometz, and the levoina also is a kometz. That gears to lechem ponim is going to come in very, very useful. I'm going to come back in a second. I like the gears to the Gra, even though the Gra learns the question of the Gemara is a different question, but the gears to lechem ponim is a very good gears for a reason we'll see momentarily. So the first go to the Gemara, the Gemara is in front of it. So he says, it's not really by Minchas Chayte, because Minchas Chayte there's no kometz, but any Mincha where there is Levoina, you need 2 kamatzim. That's what it says. The whole Isaron kometz Levoina is for the Keich, the Ba'in of Shir Shem, the whole Isaron. So you can do shear of shimon for, oil for each yisaron in order to mix the oil with the yisaron. Afilu nasu arbei yisaron be kli echad. Even the several yisaron in one kli, you need to have below echad shemen for each yisaron. Kedam perek shtei midos. Now being a klemetz levoino kol yisaron. You come for each yisaron. So who are the kind the koifel hasoiles where you double the soiles koifel nami hakamatzim. You double the kamatzim. Okay, the problem with this is pointed out by the article in note 1, which is that the this has been Yigud Ladin Ha'amur B'Torah Kohanim in the Tosefta, that there's always one Levina, no matter how many Yisraelis there are. So this sugi will be going not like the Torah Kohanim in Tosefta, and it'll be a very big Kiddush, right? That is just like you need at least a luke for each Yisrael of Shemen. You need to have a Klemetz Levina of for each Yisrael as well. So that is that's very, very difficult. But if you have with the Grod's gear, so it works out very nicely. Says and each Asiris Eifa is learned. That Asiris Eifa is learned out from Lechem Apanim. Ma'alan Shnei Kamatzim, just like the by two Kamatzim and Lechem Apanim, because that's the only source we have from which we can learn the Levina. So Afghan Shnei Kamatzim, the Asiris Eifa requires two Kamatzim, and for being two Asiris Eifas, one in the morning and one in the afternoon, because there are two different Kohanim Gedolim, each one requires two Kamatzim from the limud from Lechem Apanim. It works out very nicely. The next line, Mataman Tzricha Le, Apacha Tzricha Le, even though the Korban Eda does learn it and does explain it, it's most important to take it out. The Kisvei Yad, the Rosh Sarilio, and take it out, and I think the Taka Chaytin also takes it out, and the Taka Chaytin points out there's another Girsa here, which is also we don't have here, and which is in other sources, although the Grud does bring it down as well, but we're not going to put it in. B'chaser, Malalan, Shnei Kamati B'chaser, Afkan Kamati B'chaser, we're not going to go with that Girsa either. But in any event, in the Vilna, I shouldn't have interrupted my own sentence, but in the Vilna it says, it also takes out in parentheses, Mata and Tzrichle, Afach and Tzrichle, so we don't have to, we're going to leave that out. If you do learn it, then the question is also by, do you need, in fact, many Levo Komitz Levinos or not, when you bring out many students in the same Keli? Okay, but in any event, I think everybody takes it out, so we'll take it out as well. But so again, if you learn out from Lechem Apanim, I think it works out very nicely, and I like therefore the gross gear. So here, my lunch make it same. Afkan Shnei Kutayim, Lechem Apanim, and then from tomorrow we'll start from Amar Rabbi Chizkiah, skipping that part in parentheses, which we just decided to skip.